Let's go. Let's play one more episode. See. Episode 4, Season 1. Lou tries to show her worth. She's going to work. Let's read. The fourth postulate. The unstable genome is our burden and the price of our mistakes. The pure genome, our goal and the foundation of our society. The experiments established that Psi is only capable of influencing objects that have no primary or derivative source of voluntary resistance. The exceptions are healers and empaths. It should be noted that their abilities have been established as conditionally safe for application on humans. Almost 1,000 diamonds. I'm happy the game works now when all other things are off. Yeah, it really works. Yeah, I'm without makeup today. Okay. Don't miss the chance. Lou? Everything's fine. We can take the bike, but you will owe me a charge. Food is cheaper on the farms, and the car has a bigger trunk. Let's buy some things. That's one argument. I don't think we will bag tonight. Take a chance of clothes if you need to. Lou went to a box and pulled out the old duffel bag she had taken to the facility all those years ago. She threw some necessities into it. It's a mobile game, yeah. The last thing she took was her shades. Oh my god. Oval red, closed light, closed pink, closed light blue, brown. I like brown. Very beautiful. I'm ready. Kay was driving. The car wasn't new, though the interior had a fresh scent with hints of sterilizing chemicals. Kay glanced at Lou. You can smoke if you want to. They will completely disinfect it when we hand it over either way. Nice. She thought the sound quality from the speakers was decent. The car's stereo panel displayed the name Note, the central New Paris radio station recommended by the church. The music they played was an accurate taste, but anything was better than news about developing industries and sermons. Do you have any other music in here? I don't know. Look around. This car isn't assigned to me. He turned onto the main road and sped up. If you need it for work, you can borrow one. Lou rummaged through the glove compartment. A lighter, a flashlight, a thumb drive. It had either been forgotten or left there on purpose. She stuck the small plastic prism into the stereo port. Play the second track. Hey yo. Yo. Hey yo. No. Change music selection. Play the first track. Oh, Inspire. You wrote it? Inspire. Okay. Where is focus? I don't see the focus on my face now. It shines so bright, falling from the eye. It still hurts inside in this endless night. Okay. I like this track. Inspire, we will keep your music. Leave the stereo alone. Content Lou have closed her eyes and downloaded the music that was playing onto her phone. This is comfortable for a car that everyone uses. Sometimes we have to take long trips. The service garage keeps an eye on the cars. They replace the seat covers, panels, and so on. Lou wasn't surprised. Just beyond New Paris was a long string of routinely pollinated fields and filtered greenhouses with edible cultures. The borders of the inhabited terraces were marked with a strip of scorched ground, the perimeter. Every child knew that eating something from outside of it was very likely to trigger a fatal allergic reaction or poison them. Once dangerous to humans, nature had changed. Blisters, rashes, and asphyxiation were the smallest prices for the food it offered. Safe food could only be found at the farms and factories. Sometimes wind would bring seeds from the outside. Birds and small animals would cross the border. The growth of dangerous species within the interior was unacceptable. One had to hand it to the church. It spared neither money nor resources towards this end. Lou looked over the dashboard. Is this a hybrid? Yes. Her bike was electric. It was cheaper. But combustion engines were more powerful. The psionic had decided a long time ago that one day she had buy herself a hybrid motorcycle. I also decided that one day I will buy a PC to play games with you, my friends. One day. This is what I say every time. One day. She chased this daydream away and forced herself to think about work. All that matters is that I don't miss the chance to prove myself. It seems like there is an opportunity to snag something bigger than handling crowds. I won't screw this up. So, who are we going to talk to? Monsieur Chastain, an unstable. He is a mechanic that fixes combine harvesters. Chastain. And who did he shot? Meow. The victim is Monsieur Laflamme, an unstable who came to Les Lelouch to perform a financial audit. Why would a simple mechanic kill an auditor? Has anyone tried to figure out why? Are they sure they got the right guy? Are they sure that they got the right guy? What if they just found a scapegoat, someone they could intimidate, or just some dimwit, and he was either afraid to object or couldn't figure out how, and just like that, they have got their murderer. It's like when the first one to get beaten up is a fault. Well, whoever is got a finger pointed at them. The crowd makes the rules. The police report said that The man they have detained came in and confessed to the crime. It looks like Chastain is our guy. The caliber matches. Music was still playing from the speakers, but Lou wasn't listening to it anymore. Familiar landscapes appeared in the windows: villages, farms, occasional hills, water towers. Suppressing her annoyance and anxiety, Lou was preparing herself for the sight of Lelouch. Kay stopped the car by the local police station. The psionic stepped out and looked around. There was a KO Industries sign, the local office of a big company. Her father used to work there. The elementary school, the only store Monsieur Hamidou's. Bored kids were hanging out by the shop's window. Why is Chastain still here? Why wasn't he sent to the city? The investigation isn't over. They haven't found the gun. The police inspector doesn't want to miss an opportunity to look good, but Chastain isn't responding to his interrogation. He refuses to say where the weapon went. The empath locked the car. How about we go and try out luck now? Look, here's the thing. I know Chastain. He used to work in the copper mine. There weren't any other mechanics here with that last name. He got kicked out and started drinking. I guess he found himself a job fixing combines later. He's probably forgotten me. You used to live here? I went to school with his son. Kay pulled out his phone and glanced at something. Lou, we are going to interrogate the son, Chastain Jr. His name is Bastain. Crap, Bastain became a mechanic like his dad. Are you sure you are up for this? She answered firmly. I am. Maybe it will go more smoothly if Bastain remembers me. We will reminisce about our childhood. Can we offer him some? We will reminisce about our childhood. After all, we went to the same school, grew up together, all that. Alright, that sounds logical. It will be useful to appeal to his emotions. The empath intently looked at Lou. You won't have to bare your soul, will you? We weren't friends. When the local police inspector was checking their papers, he didn't react to the last name Reed in any way. Lou didn't remember him either. So what the fuck does the corpse want with him? Chastain has information that relevant to our investigation. Unless you want to ask him which end of the harvester the thresher's on, I strongly doubt it. This guy, just like everyone else around here, is just a peasant. He's never left the area in his entire life. The policeman yawned in an attempt to hide his curiosity. What could he know? He answered glacially. Most likely you're right, and we came here for nothing, but our boss ordered us to. Fine. There aren't any interrogation rooms in a backwater like this. You will have to talk in his cell. There are only 2 cells and the second one is empty, so no one else will hear you. Yeah, that's unfortunate. We have a request. You'd be helping us a lot. Is it possible to talk in an office and get some tea for Monsieur Chastain if you have any? Kay said confidently. I'm hoping to warm him up to us. Tea? You're serious? Paul, I've been here for 4 years already, handling several villages on my own. I understand how the locals operate well enough. They understand two things: force and power. Like cattle. Lou didn't react to his words at all. At least, not outwardly. A bunch of yokels. And Chastain's kind especially. What kind is that? He's ended up in a cell more than once for drunken brawls. It was just a matter of time before he got into serious trouble. The inspector looked at Kay's puzzled expression and condescendingly agreed. Fine, I will have Chastain brought here. Asshole, so you are putting yourself in charge, huh? Sharing with us? You think we're the same as you? I wonder if we can use that against you. Law casually asked. Look, Monsieur, maybe you have a baton and handcuffs around? Why? Kay remained silent, not interfering or appearing surprised by her unplanned request. How should I put it to establish mutual understanding? To save our time. To establish a mutual understanding. You said it yourself, like cattle, huh? It will make it easier to explain that being sincere is in his best interest. You understand. The inspector hesitated for a moment, then smirked wickedly. They say the corpse uses different methods. We are all human. I get it. Dirty work dictates its own conditions. And the boss doesn't have to know, right? Rules are a good thing, of course, but you and I, we have to close cases. He nodded to the desk. The top drawer. And can we have some tea? Look in the closet. There is an electric kettle in there as well. The inspector stepped out of the room. The psionics weren't going to bring out the baton and handcuffs. Now we know for sure what methods of interrogation he has available. That was smooth. Where had you learned to communicate like that? As if I didn't come from a facility. If I hadn't learned what to say to whom and how to say it, my life would have turned out way worse. I see, it was the same for us. Several minutes later, the mechanic walked into the office, accompanied by 2 policemen. Hello, Monsieur. Hello, Monsieur Chastain. Take a seat. Chastain sat down obediently. The guards walked out, leaving the 3 of them. My name is Keystone. This is my partner, Lou Reed. We are from the Assistant Corps. Despite Kay's calm, even friendly tone, his mention of church's law enforcement agency made the man wilt. Hey, Baston. He stared at the psionic woman in surprise. I wouldn't have recognized him, and we're almost the same age. No way, Lou! How's your father? Dead. Has been for a long time. He drank himself into an early grave. Sorry. I know it sucks. So you're in the assistance? Yeah, and I need help. Мне очень сложно попасть там в ритм. Потом поговорим. From me? Let's say for old time's sake. And what can I do? In case you aren't aware, I've killed a man. Busto, you have always been a good, honest guy. Actually, Lou didn't remember who he had been. However, it didn't matter how. It didn't matter now. You must have had every reason to shut that jerk from the city. If you don't tell us where you got the gun, they might pin more details on you. Bastain pressed his lips into a line and lowered his eyes. Nah, I can't. Lou and Kay shared a look. The empath got up and walked over the closet. Care for some tea, Monsieur Chastain? Wouldn't say no. Fitting with a kettle and a cup, Stone said, "Your behavior seems strange. You have confessed to the murder and don't want to talk about the weapon. How come? What kind of gun was it? Where did you get it? Where is it now?" "If I'm not telling you, then I don't want to." As Kay was serving the tea, he touched Bastain's hand as if on accident. Then he spent several more minutes on questions. The mechanics kept saying the same thing. "I killed LaFlame. I can't help you. Look, if you're not going to beat me, can I return to my cell?" The empath sign walked up to him and put his hand on Chastain's shoulder. "Of course, but please think about it, Monsieur." Well, then, he opened the door and looked out into the hallway. "Take him away." When the door had closed behind the policeman, Lou asked, "What do you think?" "Bastain is lying. He doesn't seem to be the murderer, and he doesn't know about the gun. Considering that he is enduring top interrogations, he must have a strong incentive." "Did you read him?" "Yes, he is afraid, but..." Kay frowned as he found words for the sensations. "Not for himself. Is he taking the blame for someone else? Covering up for someone? Like a loved one? A friend or a lover?" "That's a possibility." The door opened without knock and the inspector walked in. "It was a short conversation, let me guess. You came here for nothing?" Lou pulled out her phone and glanced at the time. As she was putting it back, she dropped it. "Careful, mademoiselle. Did it break?" She shook her head and whipped the screen, then put the phone away. "We have to stay a while longer." "Oh, sorry to hear that. There isn't a motel in Lelouch. Mademoiselle Dominguez rents out rooms for the night. It's further down the street before the turn. You will find it. Look for the blue door." "I mean staying here at the station. We need to familiarize ourselves with all the case materials." The inspector immediately dropped the friendliness he had begun to show. "Do you want a foot massage too?" Kay's gaze remained the same, with just a hint of a smile. He spoke even more softly now, in a tone that was almost intimate. "Have you decided to obstruct the work of assistant corps personnel? You have to be impeccable in the eyes of the law to pick fights with the Inquisition and its associates." And what's this? Interrogation that employ force, handcuffed, batons. "So what? You use the same methods." "We told you that." The inspector got the keys and opened the safe. He took out a folder and locked it again. "Is that everything?" "For now, yes." When the psionics were alone again, Lou produced her phone from her pocket and touched the screen. A D-string recording began to play. "Careful, mademoiselle. Did it break?" "Can we use it?" "Were you recording?" "Not the first time." "Well, he wouldn't be fired, but if If we want to, we can cause some trouble for him. I will write a report. That's extra work for you. Will I owe you anything? Come on, Lou. That guy is nasty. The impasse split the papers into two unequal stacks and gave the bigger one to her. Here, return the flavor so it doesn't weigh on your My what? Kay smirked, amused. I'll take Chastain. You look through everything else. Look for something interesting, anything. She sat by the window. Examination of the crime scene. The body was found by an abandoned barn, shot in the back. There was quite a lot of information. Kay waited for Lou to put the documents aside, then asked, "What do you think?" Killed at close range. No one heard the shot. At first, Renew Martel was the suspect. Younger than I am. I didn't know her. Martel was even apprehended, but then Chastain came clean. Lou scanned one of the papers again. Yeah, both of Bastain's parents are gone. He doesn't have close friends. No information on his debts, though he had a girlfriend, Renew Martel. It says here they broke up a couple of months ago. The empath rubbed his chin. It's worth asking the inspector more about the girl and taking to Mademoiselle Martel in person. Let me try talking to her. A girl from around here would rather talk to another woman about what a jerk Bastain was and why things didn't work out. All right, then I'll go see the inspector. Lou glanced at Renee's address and photo. Renew Martel wasn't home. Lou brushed some litter from the porch steps and sat down to wait. Justine's ex-girlfriend appeared soon. The psionic got up when she saw her approaching. Mademoiselle Martel? Yes. Lou said a phrase that was new to her. Assistant Corpse, my name is Reed. She took out the intern ID in the Chaplain had given her. It wasn't an employee badge, but the church's emblem was not for Renee. She stammered, sounding frightened. Oh, I didn't do anything. Don't be afraid. I wanted to ask you about Bastain Chastain. Are you from New Paris? Yes. Help him. Our inspector, he just wants to close the case. She dropped down, either in an attempt to hold back rising sobs or to cling to Lou's knees. Bastain isn't to blame, neither am I. Lou hadn't expected anything like this. She froze to avoid stirring up any dust or seeming unconcerned and said, "He confessed, and he keeps stating that he killed LaFlame. So that they won't bother me." The psionic couldn't bear it anymore. She helped Renee up by her arm and gave her a handkerchief. Get up already. Stop it. Here, wipe your face. Tell me why he is protecting you. You broke up. Lou's voice was quiet, firm, and calm. Oi. Okay, the kind of voice one could lean on. Renew looked away and said quietly, I'm pregnant. Bastain doesn't want his child to be born in prison. But you really broke up? Yes. Lou only dug into the convoluted messes of other people's relationships when there was a need for it. Luckily, there wasn't for now. Chastain was detained several times before, right? Just for fights. Shooting someone he couldn't. In your opinion, who would kill Monsieur Leflame? What kind of person was Monsieur Leflame? Could Bastien have bought a gun? What kind of person was Monsieur Leflame? He wasn't from New Paris. And? Not a pure one, but what's the difference? He was still in charge. He did what he wanted. Okay. Can I go? Yes, and thank you. Lou returned to the station where Kay was already waiting for her by the car. Renew Martel was a suspect because of a witness testimony, and Omer Palat saw her in a confrontation with Laflame. The auditor wanted to take advantage of his position of authority. He was making advances on Martel and threatening her. She refused him. There is an interesting detail the case file failed to mention. The witness is a retired policeman. He used to be the inspector here. How did things go for you? Martel is pregnant, supposedly by Bastien. She says he doesn't want his child to be born in prison, and the inspector only cares about closing the case. There was a long of crying. Kay pulled out his phone. Chastain might be the murderer. Laflame was making advances on Renew. The motive is weak. She is an ex. But if Bastien is really the father and is worried about the baby, that's already something. It explains his confession, but he has no reason to stay quiet about the gun. Renew Martel has an even weaker motive. Deciding to murder someone for advances that were turned away, supposing that were true. But then there is her secret. By shooting Laflame, she wouldn't have just been risking prison time. She would have been risking her future child. Still, both are suspects. There are plenty of idiots. That leaves the question that bothers me the most. How could Bastien or Renew get their hands on a gun that was in the police custody? Yeah. Stone tapped the call button. Monsieur Guller, hello. We need information on a retired policeman. Here are the details. Omer Palat. His last job was as Lelouch inspector. Age... Yes, thank you. We will be waiting. The empath pocketed his phone. The police won't provide us with a record on their own employee, even a retired one. No grounds for it. We will have to rely on the Inquisition's information. If there is nothing interesting, I don't know what we will do next. We will have to think about it. We have to wait until the morning anyway. Who is renting out rooms here? Mademoiselle Dominguez with the blue door? Yeah, over there. Are you coming with me, or do you have somewhere to spend the night? At the corpse's expense, I hope? Of course. Coming. Kate didn't seem surprised. Mademoiselle Dominique's room were small, empty, and depressing. A bed, a chair, and a sink with a mirror in the corner. At least it was clean. When Lou woke up, she warmed up a bit, then washed her face and dressed unhurriedly. Black side ponytail, let's keep it. Half an hour later, there was a knock. Kay? It's me. She opened the door. The empath walked in, shuddered drowsily, and glanced around the room. Good morning. He didn't seem to find any significant differences from the room next door where he had spent the night and said, Monsieur Omer Polat served the local station for his entire career, except for a brief period. Several years ago, he was transferred to New Paris. Half a year later, he returned to Les Loges. Why? A case involving a theft of city funds. It was me, Mirai Vibes, I did it. Several officers were involved in the case, including Polat. The church insisted on participating in the investigation. The council resisted and wouldn't allow them. To check the finances, they brought in an independent expert. Guess who? La Flamme? Exactly, good thinking. They only put the officer behind bars back then. Polat was only involved as a witness. He could have lived in the city, furthering his career, but he got screwed because of La Flamme, so he had to return to the village. Revenge, that's a motive. It gets more interesting. Among the officers involved in the case was Polat's boss, also as a witness. Nevertheless, it had a negative impact on his career too. He is retired now as well. Can you guess one more time? What was his last place of work? Head of the security shift at the police weapons depot. Lou, absorbed with her work, felt a rush of excitement. Hold on, the depot where our guns were kept? The empath smirked. We don't know that. What if it's the wrong depot? Is this enough for police to help us? Is this enough for the police to help us? Guller will provide them with our case file. He will explain our interest in Polat and request information from his file. The police will review the request and decide whether the suspicions surrounding their former employee are grounded. Considering their relationship with the Inquisition, they will be reviewing it thoroughly and slowly. I see. Will you bring Polat in for questioning? Yes. They took the current inspector's office again. While they were waiting for its previous owner, the empath looked out through the window, which hadn't been washed in a long time. Oh, it looks like they're bringing our guy in. They have stopped having a conversation. Kay turned to his partner. Lou, the local police thought they were about to close this case. We are ruining all their work. Not to mention, we're bothering their former colleague. He's not just a mechanic. He's a respected man, someone they trust completely. That's clear. What are you getting at? Polat wasn't detained. He was invited. As in, they didn't search him. Just in case, stay to his side. We're a long way from the city in the middle of nowhere. This is their territory. He opened his jacket for a moment, adjusting it. Lou caught a glimpse of a holster underneath. She nodded. Polat, just like his successor, walked in without a knock, confident and deliberate. Kate pointed at a chair. Monsieur Omer Polat, good morning. Have a seat. Omer looked around the office. Nothing has changed. I know who you are, and I know your tactics and tricks. I used to interrogate people too. Let's get straight to the point. Kay looked at him intently and repeated, "Sit down." Omar sat on the chair. To the point then. As a result of the audit carried out by Monsieur Laflamme, you lost your position in the city and any prospects of furthering your career. A week ago, he arrived here and was shot by a mechanic mad that Laflamme showed interest in his previous partner, or by the girl herself. Those theories are shaky but perfectly workable. There is one issue. The gun he was shot with is very unusual. It's a rare gun, difficult to obtain. As a former police officer, you must know this. Guns like this aren't in use. They are kept in depots, like the one your former boss was assigned to guard. Did you buy the weapon from him or his acquaintances? You know where you can shove your assumptions. Monsieur Paulette, you don't understand the magnitude of the problem. The same type of gun has come up in a case involving genetic security. Omer flinched. Lou had been keeping an eye on him the entire time. This is no longer mere criminal activity. Do you have proof? Retirement relaxes people, I understand. Let me remind you. When there are threats to the safety of the Church of Unity, members of the public assembly, two or more pure ones, and in cases of genetic persecution, the Inquisition is allowed, using circumstantial evidence as the basis, to detain suspects indefinitely. You won't be able to hide. Omer abruptly reached for something under his sweater. Kay flinched to the side. They both went for their weapons at the same time. But they needed to witness a life. Palat, on the contrary, no longer had anything to lose. Throw the papers at Palat. Folders of documents flew out from the table and whirlwind of papers assailed Palat. What? He shot haphazardly. Bam! The bullet struck the safe next to Kay with a nasty clang, showering him with fragments of plaster. Then Kay pulled the trigger. Bang! His gun was louder. Ow! Palat reeled back to one side, his weapon flying from his hand. The former officer, clutching his wounded shoulder, tried to run from the office. Stop, damn it! 1 second. If you don't know what to choose, you can't just stop it like this. My English is so bad. I need to understand. Knock him down with a chair. An overturned chair slid across the floor and struck Omer across his shins. Ow! His inertia sent him tumbling headfirst into the door, and he collapsed to the floor. Pounding footsteps came from the hallway. Officers were rushing towards the sounds of gunfire. Yeah. An hour later, Bastien Chastain was released. Nevertheless, he would still face an investigation for giving false testimony. The guy really didn't know anything about the gun. He had only been trying to protect the mother of his unborn child. Omer Palat, who had received medical attention, was now sitting in the vacated cell. Kay immediately called the corpse and requested it convoyed to New Paris for the detainee. Hi, welcome. LaFlame wouldn't care anymore, and the psionic still had a use for the former officer. Kay was finishing his report to the boss. The locals? They didn't interfere. Yes, Monsieur Guller. Lou was sitting there, not looking at her partner. Pollard's gun was in front of her on the table. It was just like the one she had fired in the alley recently. Yeah, I did. She's... Kay glanced at Lou and smiled. Doing a great job, Monsieur Guller. Yes. Speak to you later. The empath pocketed his phone and sat next to her. Congratulations! On the resolution of your first case, we caught LaFlame's killer. It's not our case. So you're bored sometimes, huh? Come on. Thanks, by the way. For what? For doing a great job. Lou, if you hadn't been able to handle it, I'd tell him, too. It doesn't matter. About the case, the locals detained Bastain for a week with nothing to show for it. People in the AC are much more professional. They will get polite talking faster. Besides, he doesn't have a motivation to bear it like Chastain did. Stone glanced at the reddish stains on the floor. How are you feeling? I take it that sight of blood doesn't impress you. I came to work for the corpse. Good, because you have some on your clothes. Pollard's blood, I mean. Damn it. The empath pulled out the car keys. Go grab your bag. You brought a chance of clothes, right? Wash those in the sink with cold water, or it will never come off. It isn't the first time I have dealt with this. When Lou returned, Kay stepped out so she could change. Okay, it looks amazing. Let's finish, yeah. You tap here, you can see 77%. Then she went to wash off the blood. An armored minivan with a security detachment arrived late in the afternoon. Kay dealt with all the formalities, explaining them at Lou's as he signed the request paperwork for the police. Now they could go back. The psionics left the station. Lou... Sometimes I tap and forget to read. Kay, are we supposed to follow the convoy? No, we were not. We were going to buy something at a farm on our way back, remember? She took her phone and checked the time. Can I go somewhere? Not for long. No problem. Yeah, Mirai vibes. Lou stepped inside and called out. Ma, that's me. Kay remained in the car outside, never asking whom his partner was going to visit. Lou. Anna Reed walked across the room and impulsively hugged her daughter. Hi. Come on in. I'm so glad. You should have called ahead. I would have made something special. Has Tyler been earning more? No, but for an occasion like this. Her mother sat her at the table and took a seat opposite. Did you come to see me, or were you around? For how long? How is your work going? My work is going all right. I found a decent job. Where? The assistance corps. Oh, Lou, That's dangerous. Why, baby? It's fine, Ma. I'm not doing anything off. But you will. I'm careful and I have a brain. Lou checked the time again. Will you at least have some tea? Yeah. And fused around. Is Tyler at work? Yes. He will be back soon. He will be really happy to see you as well. Will you wait for him? I don't think so. I don't have long. I'm here on business, just passing through. I'm only stopping in. Oh, that's a pity. She put the cup on the table and casually asked, Do they pay well? Well enough. That's nice. If you're lucky, you might make it ahead in the world. Like my father? There was an awkward pause. Lou had never really learned to talk about him. Neither had her mother. Yet again, Lou thought about how a lot of things could have been different. Not everything, sure. She would have been sent to a facility for psionics anyway. But afterwards, Lou would have returned here, home, to her mom and a father that was still alive. He was an engineer. His position required him to go down into the mines regularly. One day, one of the mines flooded. Reed was down there. The elevator brought up half of their workers, then broke as it was going down for the others. The engineer and the other half of the miners had died. Their bodies hadn't been recovered until several days later. They had said the elevator broke down because of the mechanic's neglect. He looked so much like him. How is your money situation? You know, Tyler is trying and I see. After the accident at the time, things had been rough. Her mother used to be just a housewife and she didn't really know how to do anything else. There weren't any decent jobs, so she went to work as a picker at a farm. There hadn't been enough money to support their former lifestyle. Eventually, she had started looking for a new husband, someone supportive and reliable. She had found Tyler. Didn't you just start? They won't be paying you anytime soon. I will help you as soon as the money comes in. Her stepfather had never made an appreciance at the facility, and Lou wasn't upset about that at all. Her mother had visited her twice. Right after Lou graduated, she went to Lelouch once to see her mother. Then she got herself a phone. But if there is anything urgent, give me a call. Oh. Ma, did you hear me? Yes, I wish I could save enough to confirm my loyalty. There are at least some benefits like medicals. Medical? Do you have health issues? Lou set her cup aside. Anything serious? No, everything's okay. But you know, I'm not getting younger. I like to hedge my bets. I see. Sorry, I've gotta go. Tyler's about to get home. You didn't even see him last time. Lou, I get it. He is not your family. But he is not a stranger either. Don't worry about it. I don't give a damn. Anne shook her head. How can you talk like that? That isn't very ladylike. Yeah, they should say darn instead. Alright, sorry, people are waiting for me. When will you be by again? I don't know, I will call you. Anna walked her to the door. Bye. I'll miss you, Lou. I'll miss you too. After her father's death and the facility, too many things had changed. Not knowing what else to say, she hugged her mother. Crap. Kiddo has it even worse with her parents. Lou had almost reached the car when her stepfather came around the corner. Damn it. The last time she saw him was before the facility, but it was impossible to mistake him for someone else. The bastard hasn't really changed even though he's a drunk. She turned away from him and hurried. Even if Tyler had noticed her, he didn't recognize her. She closed the car door. Kate turned the engine on. How are you? Forget it, everything is okay. Sure. We will buy groceries at the nearest farm, and then, if you're not tired, why don't we take a detour to the river? It's not far from here. There is a dam there. It's a beautiful place. Walking around, looking at the water, you could use that right now. I'm not touching you, but I can see it anyway. You can tell me to screw off, it's none of my business. Or we can go and wind, I won't ask anything. Partner? She smirked, repeating. Partner. Fine, show me this dam. Kay laughed. What's the matter? Any girl I know would like to look at the river, but you just focus on the dam. Think what you want. Kay smiled again. Lou watched the thundering, wild water. It's really beautiful, thank you. An acquaintance of mine showed this place to me. He used to work nearby at a fish farm. For a while, Lou remained silent. Then she said without looking at Kay, My mother is in Lelouch, and a stepfather, Tyler. Kay, do you have family? He gave her a faint smile and answered, Grandma. Then he added evenly, I have parents, but everything is complicated with them too. When he said too, she turned to him. Just as Kay had promised, he didn't ask her any questions. She appreciated that and nodded. The fish here make it all the way to the center restaurants. The acquaintance would stash some from himself while he was working here. Too bad we can't buy it now. Is it good fish? Yeah, he said the freshwater species were hardly changed at all. They just make it safe. I've never had it. The salary from the corpse is enough to go to a restaurant. They fell silent. Lou thought about her mother again, then about the bike. She lit up a cigarette. The filter burned her fingers. A grasshopper was chirping. The air smelled like grass and freedom. She wanted to hold still and sit there for a long time looking at the sky. Kate touched her shoulder with his. He was looking somewhere far away, too, farther than the eyes could see. Yes. yes, Mirai vibes. It's a problem. Thank you. For what? I feel better. The river is great. Okay, let's kiss Kay's cheek. Okay. She brushed his skin with her lips. She said yet again, Thank you. It's nothing. Time to go? Jonas, I'm yours, but it's just a... That's all. Right before returning onto the highway leading to the city, they saw that traffic was blocked. Several civilian cars were packed one after another along the roadside. Strips of anti-vehicle spikes glistened dimly on the asphalt. Further along, they could see a few subs deployed across the road. Next to them, there were people wearing AC uniforms. Machine guns, body armor, helmets. Kate stopped the car obediently. A security officer approached them and looked inside. They couldn't see him well in the darkness, and his face was also covered with a mask. Assistance Corps Operation. Please step out of the vehicle. Lou and Kay obeyed. Toward the light, please. Stone squinted from the lights, cautioning them. Where are your people, monsieur, from the corps? All right, don't move. We are the people from the corps, yeah. Another officer walked up to them, blinding Lou and Kay in turn with the flash of a camera. He spoke into a handheld radio. I'm sending picture of 2 more your ways. The officer standing to the side and keeping an eye on the other cars were talking quietly. Lou could hear. Thanks for follow. Cordon of the area. It's a challenge to the entire Inquisition. The reply came from the radio, slightly corrupted by static. Apprehend them. They trained their machine guns on the psionics. Hands on the wood, slowly. As Lou was following the order, she whispered sharply. Holy shit. Holy shit. Yeah. How was it? It was good, thank you. So, it was a good time reading Romance Club. That's all for now. All the videos I will post to the YouTube later.